Hello guys, today is The Last of Us Day, that is 26th of September, and in this video I'm going to talk to you about 5 things or 5 reasons why Last of Us Part 2 is a masterpiece. Now I'm just going to warn you guys before we jump into this is going to be a spoiler, so if you haven't played the game, well, I would say not to watch this video. The world of Last of Us Part 2 is very unforgiving. We have seen that from Last of Us Part 1, but Last of Us Part 2, going into that game, we could see that how different the world is, how unforgiving the world is. It doesn't care about anyone. Anything can happen at any moment of time and you would not even know about it. You would not even see it coming. The people in the world are not necessarily bad. You cannot distinguish a bad person versus a good person because there's no such thing as a bad or a good guy or a person, because the circumstances make them that way. We have seen that with the Fireflies, how Abby was not a bad person, but it's just the circumstances that were presented in front of her, whatever happened in front of her, just made her turn bad for a person that she literally hated, because of which that tragedy happened. Well, Abby saw her dad getting killed by Joel, so it is definitely an anger is inside of her that I'm gonna find Joel and I'm gonna kill him, because obviously he killed his father and there's no law right now. Everything is you doing your own. And that's why you can see how people turn over each other, but nobody is a good guy, nobody is a bad guy. Everybody is trying to live the way they want, and literally anything can happen. We have seen in the story how people get killed just like that. You know, villages get destroyed just like that. It's absolutely insane to see how crazy the world is and what type of world we are living in, where there's zombies all across. It is very hard to go at night. It's very hard to go in new places. It's very hard to scavenge. It's a difficult world to live in, and I see Last of Us Part 2 has done a much better job in this one. The characters in this game are much more diverse in my opinion. The characters were more interesting in Last of Us 1 as well, but I feel like in Last of Us Part 2, there was more to it that I never saw it coming. Abby and Ellie being the lead ones who we see the entire story with. And we have seen how these characters evolve over time. We saw how Ellie not being so connected with Joel and their relationship has been shown, and how it's been like disturbed from the very beginning. And then we see how Ellie becomes angrier and revengeful, and always wants to seek revenge, goes into that area or goes in that path and then eventually dropping down and then going into that path again. Whereas we see Abby also seeing her past and how her character has developed from a kid till now, how she has buffed herself because she just wanted to get to Joel. It's different how these characters are. Not only them, we have also seen the supporting characters such as Dina, Jesse, even Tommy, her wife. We have seen all these characters develop. We have seen how Jesse is a lot different leader when he's leading things. Dina is a very different person herself. She's trying to find herself and at the same time supporting Ellie whenever she can. And at the very end, we saw in the farm scene how she really wanted to be with her, because she knows if Ellie goes to that zone again, she probably won't get it back. So I like those character moments. Every single person played it so well that it felt real to me. It felt, at least to me, it felt very real, and I loved every second of it. Even the enemy side, we have Abby and her boyfriend name that I forgot. We also know that those guys were so different and they're so unique in their own ways. I even like Lev. Lev was just a kid trying to find himself, trying to find who he is. I like those different or a variety in these characters. That was very well done. Surprisingly, this game has a lot of issues going on. You have seen Ellie and Abby, both of these ladies, the lead characters, having PTSD, especially Ellie, who kept on seeing Joel dying, that death scene, always and always. And in her back of her head, she feels like she can take that away if she gets to Abby and kill her. But later on, she gets to realize that she is not that person. She does not want to do that, and she lives in a farm. But then again, even in the farm, she gets that vision, she gets those things, and then she immediately thinks like, maybe it's because I've not killed Abby yet. So it's very confusing for a person to get away from that zone, to get away and get to understand what they have to do. And for Ellie, it was very hard. And that's why by the end of the game, she was able to figure out something that will help her move forward. And that's why she was not able to kill Abby. I know a lot of people are angry with that. Just hold on, hold on. Lev himself had such a strong moment that I appreciated, how his mom would treat him as a woman, as a girl, but he felt different and the mom was not allowing him to feel different or to be a different character. I think those sensitive topics are mentioned here very well. I think a lot of people are just complaining about all these sensitive topics, but in my opinion, touching those sensitive topics are also interesting. I feel like that needs to be done sometimes in video games. It's not necessary for video games, but I mean, I like it. In my opinion, I liked it, I loved it, and I really want people to experience that. Yes, hands down, gameplay is the one positive thing that everybody who has played Last of Us Part 2 will tell you, because the gameplay of this very game is fabulous. In Last of Us Part 1, the gameplay was amazing, but the melee was one complaint. In this game, that was taken care of. Like, done. It's good. It's perfect. It's so well done that you can melee in such a well fashion, including dodge. So you dodge away and then you melee, and it feels like you're hitting with a baseball bat, with a knife, or whatever it is. It's done so well. Here, if somebody notices you even a little bit, you have to literally run a long away, like a really far away, to hide yourself. It's not like you just run away and hide in front of the grass. Literally in front of these people, in front of their vision, they will see you. So it's literally, you need to fool them. These people, these AI, you really need to fool them a little bit to hide away, which I really like, because the AI in this game is strong. And yes, the AI is amazing. They call everybody with their names that give each of these characters a character moment, and they also are so intelligent. They will look in places that you feel like you can hide, but no, they will actually look in those places, like looking under the car, looking under the small corners. Once they see you, my god, if they hit very hard. It feels like they're shooting. It feels like you're getting down with that shot on the shoulder, with that bullet shot, maybe the arrow shot. It's incredibly done. I love the gameplay of this game. Of course, you have the ability to just run and dodge. Even the dodging and attacking feels so fluid. Running animation felt so fluid. Like if you're running, you can literally pick objects as you're running, which was very well done. So gameplay overall, I feel like, is the best from Naughty Dog. This one was the best. It was so much more better than Uncharted 4, and I just absolutely adore it. I know the story is the biggest conversation of them all, of 2020 for Last of Us Part 2. A lot of people liked it, a lot of people hated it. I think there's like a 50-50% gap. People hate it, people like it, and I mean, it always in a conversation, which is very interesting to me. I think that alone pushed this game so up high. But in my honest opinion, I feel like the story was very, very well done. Again, it's a story about personal issues at the end of the day. I feel like it's a story about you and how you deal with yourself in front of a tragedy that happened in front of you. Like, it's very hard to figure that out. It was very hard for people to understand after Abby killed Joel. Of course, the hatred went straight to Abby. They're like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna destroy her. And then the game dropped the ball in a way by giving you controlling Abby that nobody wanted. A lot of people did not want Abby, and that is true. That is what the hate that they wanted to show. But the idea was to show her side of the story, how she has felt over the years, how it shows like Joel was never a great guy, was never a hero. He was a decent guy with circumstances making him the villain of Abby. For example, Ellie was supposed to be used to generate an antidote to the virus. The world could have been saved, but Joel decided to be selfish and he destroyed Fireflies. He saw Firefly as his enemy, even though they were not. They were literally working for the world. Now, we don't know whether that the cure would have helped, but still, it would be something. But Joel didn't do it. So Joel was already a bad guy in that time. And now people, of course, saw Abby as a bad person because they were so much attached to Joel. But then again, they were trying to see how Abby has felt, how she felt when her father died, how she felt that she wanted to get to Joel. And she was planning all this long. She was really working out, buffing herself up just to get to Joel, which was pretty interesting to me, how she was able to get and be determined. It's very hard to do that, but she was so driven by anger, by revenge, that she wanted to get him out. I mean, Naughty Dog did a good job, for me at least, to be in her shoe, to understand what she's feeling with. And I did not like the fight of Abby and Ellie in a way that I don't want them to fight. That happened twice and I didn't want them to fight. That's how I felt. And I feel like if that's how I felt, Naughty Dog did an amazing job. I did not want them to fight. I wanted them a truce, and the truce happened for a small amount of time and then it broke off again. And at the very end, Ellie was again driven by revenge, and she thought that was her way to get away that PTSD, to get away those visions. But then she realizes all she had to do was forgive Joel after what he did to keep Ellie from dying. So I think it was a very different, complex storyline between two different characters, unfortunately, fighting against each other because of unfortunate incidents. And I do think that maybe the story could have been set a little bit differently, like maybe the timelines could have been set differently. But in the same time, I feel like whatever they did was a good job nonetheless. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe, hit that like button. You can also hit the dislike button, and also check out the previous videos that you might have missed about WWE games and some other review videos that I've done before.